We just got some absolutely crazy news about Spider-Man 4 because it looks like Sony and Marvel might be including Miles Morales in it. This news just broke thanks to Daniel RPK, who is on an absolute roll right now with industry insider leaks and rumors. And yeah, this is super exciting. It kind of came out of left field because there was a lot of reports saying that Sony wanted Spider-Man 4 to be a multiversal film and bring back Tobey and Andrew, but none of those reports included Miles Morales. Now, there's two different ways that this could work. So the first way is that Miles Morales is currently in the MCU. He's a young kid in the same apartment building as Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Because in a deleted scene from No Way Home, we actually hear audio of Miles' mother calling out to Miles, which lets us know that they are living in the same apartment building that Peter Parker just moved into. So that means we could potentially see a very young Miles Morales in this movie. Maybe he gets bit by a spider during some big multiversal story that Sony apparently wants to have in Spider-Man 4. And yeah, I could see that working. I think it's a little bit early, to be honest, because I think Peter needs to age to at least maybe like 25, 26 until he can actually mentor Miles, because right now he hasn't really been Spider-Man for a really long time just yet. But yeah, this could be pretty exciting, just having Miles Morales be a neighbor of Peter Parker in the MCU and then eventually gets bit by a spider in Spider-Man 4. That could actually work. Or they could be bringing over the animated Miles Morales over into live action, because we know Beyond the Spider-Verse obviously has a meaning, and maybe that means that he's coming over to live action by the end of the movie, who knows? With the Spot being the villain, anything is really possible because he can multiverse hop, so he could easily just open up a portal or a spot, and then Miles goes through it, and then he's stuck in the 616 MCU. It is definitely a possibility. And this would be really cool because we've been following this Miles Morales for a while now, and to bring him over to live action would be really, really exciting. The only thing, though, is that he's basically got just as much experience as Tom Holland's Spider-Man, so that whole mentorship kind of thing just goes out the window. And honestly, I have no idea what's going on with this movie now, because we heard that they were going to try to bring back Tobey and Andrew, but then if you bring back Miles too, like what happens by the end of the movie? Do we have 4 Spider-Mans in the MCU by the end of it? I don't know, because to me it'd be weird if you bring back Tobey and Andrew, they come to the MCU or whatever, and then they disappear again, and then we bring them back for Secret Wars. It just feels a little strange to just keep adding them to the story, taking them away, and just repeat. But I think the more interesting way to do this would be to bring over the animated Miles Morales, because, like I said, the MCU Miles Morales, I believe, is going to be a little bit too young, and it's going to be, a little bit premature to bring him over and make him Miles Morales. But if you bring over one that is already established to be in some big Spider-Verse multiverse story just for a movie, that could actually work pretty well. And then maybe Peter Parker, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, could find out like his name was Miles Morales, and then maybe by the end of the movie, when the other Spider-Mans go back to their own universes, he finds out that his neighbor is Miles Morales, and he knows that this kid is destined to be a Spider-Man too. Honestly, there's just a ton of different ways that they could do this, but the fact that it's in conversation right now is really interesting. I am a little bit worried that this movie is trying to just be a really overstuffed Spider-Man story, because we've also heard rumors that Sony wants to make this thing releasable by 2025, which is utterly ridiculous, especially if you're gonna potentially have 4 Spider-Mans in it. The CGI is gonna be crazy on that, the script's not even done. And this honestly kind of looks a little desperate to Sony. It's like they're just trying to throw every possible thing at this movie to make as much money as possible. We're like, bring back Tobey, bring back Andrew, put Miles in live action, do whatever you need to do. But if they can make a great movie, I'm all for it. One other thing I forgot to mention is that Beyond the Spider-Verse is set to come out before Spider-Man 4, which makes sense. So if the end of this movie is Miles Morales going over to live action, it basically sets him up to appear in Spider-Man 4, and it could actually flow pretty seamlessly. So yeah, it definitely looks like we're not getting a street-level Spider-Man 4, which I'm kind of upset about, and I know a lot of other people were really hoping for this. But it looks like Sony is winning the battle as to what Spider-Man 4 is going to be. But let me know what you guys think about this down below. Apparently, Miles Morales might be in Spider-Man 4. Let me know what you think is the best way to do this. And do you think it should be the MCU Miles that lives in the same apartment building as our Peter Parker? Or do you think it should be the Spider-Verse version coming over to live action? Let me know down below.